To maintain the engine, we need to use engine oil, oil filter for engines, oil and water separators for fuel systems, and rough and fine fuel filtration. Next, we change the engine oil. Be careful when changing engine oil. Wait until the engine is off. When oil temperature drops to around 60 or 70 degrees, let's do it again. First, we use a special tool to loosen the oil plug screw. Loosen and place the oil catcher in the right place. Then use hands to slowly unscrew the oil plug screw. When the screw is about to detach, we have to push in a little harder with our hands, then move away quickly. After the oil has been drained, tighten the oil plug screw. After hand tightening, tighten a further 3/4 of a circumference with a special tool. To replace the cartridge, we first put the cartridge spanner securely snapped to the bottom of the cartridge. Loosen the cartridge with counterclockwise pressure. Put a measuring cup underneath to prevent oil spill. Remove the oil filter after the oil has been drained. Slowly add oil to the new oil filter. Just add 3/4 of the liquid level. Before installation, apply new oil evenly around the seal. Slowly rotate the oil-filled new oil filter element by aligning it with the mounting holes. After hand tightening, use a cartridge spanner to turn 3/4 of a turn. When refilling the engine oil, first unscrew the filler neck. Place the funnel in the oil filler. The oil is then eased into the funnel. Oil fill up to about 34 liters. Next, let's replace the oil-water separator. First, we have to unplug the sensor. Use special spanners remove the sensor base. Then remove the oil-water separator cartridge. With sensor base removed, we have to remove the old seal and replace with a new seal. Before installing a new oil-water separator, apply an even layer of lubricant to the seal. After tightening the cartridge, with the cartridge spanner tighten 1/4 of the circumference. Next, we install the sensor base. Hand tighten and then tighten properly with a cartridge spanner. Finally, plug the sensor in. When removing and fitting the oil-water separator on the left side of the engine, the disassembly method is the same as for the right-hand side. Then, we use a special sleeve remove the fine filter cartridge housing. Remove the fine filter after draining the fuel. Replace the fine filter seal. Fit the new seal in place. Fill with new cartridge. Before installation, we need to clean up the mounting holes. Hand tighten the cartridge after cleaning. Then use the special sleeve just tighten 3/4 turn. After the engine oil has been filled and all filter elements have been installed, we need to energize the fuel pump. Check for fuel filter leaks after powering up. If there are no leaks, start the engine. After starting, check individual filter elements for oil leaks. If there are no oil leaks, keep the engine running for 5 minutes. Finally, we pull out the oil dipstick. After wiping clean, insert the oil dipstick back in again. Pull out the oil dipstick again. Check that the oil fill level is acceptable. The oil level is within a reasonable scale. Next, let's check U-bolt and thrust rod torque. Front leaf spring U-bolts torqued to within 270 plus or minus 30 nanometers. Rear leaf spring U-bolts torqued to within 360 plus or minus 30 nanometers. Thrust rod bolt torque of 530 plus or minus 40 nanometers is. Here, we demonstrate the maintenance of the front wheel bearings. First, remove the end cap screws. Then remove the end caps. Remove the cotter pin. Loosen the shaft head nut. Remove the nut spacer. Remove the outer bearing. Remove the tire wheel as a whole. We next clean the inner and outer bearings. We clean the outer bearing as an example. Check bearings for wear. Needs to be replaced if worn. Now, let's lubricate bear. Take the outer bearing as an example. Check the brake hub for cracks and the degree of wear with the brake pads. After lubrication, mount the inner bearing, and mount the tire wheel as a whole, that outer bearing nut spacer and nut. Loose 45 to 60 degrees. Install cotter pins. And clean end caps. Apply sealant evenly. Align holes for installation. After completing the above steps, just clean the surface oil stains. Next, let's demonstrate greasing the entire vehicle. Firstly, introduce vehicle lubrication points. The vehicle can be divided into steering systems, suspension systems, transmission and braking system in 4 parts. Then we grease. Take steering system refilling for example. The rest of the systems can be refilled in the same way. Align the nozzle of the grease gun with the filler neck. Fill with grease, just until the grease spills out slightly. Here, let's show how to remove and install the air filter. First, open the clips on the outer cover of the air filter. Remove the external air filter. Then remove the internal air filter. Check for foreign bodies or dust inside the air filter unit. Then we install the new air filter. First, install the internal air filter. Once firmly installed, reinstall external air filter. Once firmly installed, we install the outer cover. Attention! Please align outer housing mounting marks. Just align the marks and fasten the clips in sequence. Next, we replace the gearbox oil. First, we need ZF special transmission oil. First, we use a tool to remove the gearbox and drain plug loosened. When the oil drain plug is about to be disengaged, we should quickly remove it by hand. Tighten the oil plug screw after the gearbox oil has been drained, and fasten with a tool. And wipe off any residual oil stains. Loosen the filler screw with a tool and unscrew. Place the filler spout, align the refueling port and place it for refueling. After adding the standard appropriate amount of gearbox oil, we tighten the filler screw and tighten it with a tool. And wipe the oil stains off the side. Next, we demonstrate the steering fluid change. First, ensure that the cab is raised. Then unscrew the booster cap. When unscrewed, we use special tools, such as hexagon socket. Loosen the oil drain screw under the power steering pump. If the oil plug screw is double, then first remove the outer screws. After removing the outer layer, then the inner screws are removed. When the inner screw is about to be disengaged, use special utensils to catch the oil. After the oil has been drained, then tighten the inner and outer oil plug screws in turn. Use special steering power oil for UMAN to refill. After filling the power steering fluid, tighten the power steering fluid cap. Then reset the cockpit compartment. Open the flip-up flap. Flip the hydraulic lift pump switch to the outside. Drop the cab with special tools. After cab reset, start the car. Start and go evenly to the left and to the right, allowing air evacuation of the steering machine. Until there is no noise from the steering left or right, turn the steering wheel back on and turn off the engine. After evacuation of air from the steering pump, we lifted the cab again. Open the flip-up flap. Open the flip-up flap. Push inwards. Simultaneous lifting with special tools. Finally, unscrew the dipstick. Take out and wipe clean. Observe the dipstick of the two markers for downlines and uplines. Then, put the dipstick back in the oil can. Measure the oil level. Observe oil level. When the oil level is at top line, indicates that the power steering fluid has been filled properly. If the refill is insufficient, we need to unscrew the oil cap for refilling. Next, we change the differential in the middle axle of the rear axle and the wheelside gear oil. We need to use special gear oils. Now let's change the gear oil in the middle and rear axle. We demonstrate the replacement of a center axle as an example. Same method as rear axle replacement. First we remove the center axle filler screw. Then loosen the center axle oil drain screw. Loosen the screw and place the fuel saver in the right place, and slowly loosen the screws by hand. When the screw is about to be disengaged, remove the screws quickly. Drain the gear oil and tighten the oil plug screw. Retighten with a tool. Wipe off any oil stains around. Middle and rear axle gear oil filling of 12 liters. The rear axle gear oil is changed in the same way as the middle axle. After the gear oil has been filled, make the oil plug screw tighten and with the tool tighten again. Wipe off any oil stains around the perimeter after fastening. We now replace the differential gear oil. First, we loosen the filler screw and remove it. Then loosen the oil drain screw. After loosening the oil drain plug screw, place the oil catcher in the right place. When the oil drain plug screw is about to be disengaged, remove the oil drain plug screw quickly. After the gear oil has been drained, tighten the oil plug screw and tighten it with a tool. Wipe off any oil stains around the perimeter after fastening. Insert the filler into the refueling port with refill volume of 4 liters. After the gear oil has been filled, tighten the oil plug screw and fasten with a tool. Wipe off any oil stains after fastening. Finally, we demonstrate a wheel side gear oil change. First, we have to loosen the oil plug screw. Place the oil catcher in place after loosening the screws. Slowly unscrew the screws. After the gear oil has been drained, Place the oil drain in a horizontal place. Wheel side gear oil to be refilled slowly. Refill volume of 3.5 liters. Other rims are replaced in the same way and with the same amount of filling. After the gear oil has been filled, tighten the oil plug screw and fasten with a tool. Wipe off oil stains after fastening. First, we check the vehicle appearance. We have to open the cab. See if the vehicle nameplate and frame number match. Turn on the flash or torch with phone. Take a look at the frame number. Check for consistency with the nameplate. Next, we check the cab and check whether the paintwork have scratches and dings, as well as tear. Check the exterior of the vehicle. And check is there any looseness in the battery. And the tire screws. The wheels have no paint loss and no oil leaks. Check the rear tail light weather connect secure. Fuel tank with no dents, scratches. Any loosening of the oil pipe. Open the front panel. Check for loose air hoses. And whether antifreeze level is up to standard. Does each of the front tubes have interference phenomena? Is there a foreign body in front of the condenser? Open the front motor box cover. Check whether the wiring harnesses plug solid and free from breakage. Snap the cover back on after inspection. Pull out the dipstick to check the oil weather at standard level. Next, we examine the airways. First, we have to check the front wheel brakes. Are the oil and gas lines loose with air leakage? We can listen and spray with foam water to check if it leaks. Dryer connection parts and check in the same way as the trachea. Rear brake individual air ducts is also checked in the same way. Let's look at the trachea. A drain valve under the air tube. Upwards with force. Check for water damage. If there is water, we then need to replace the drying tank. Just replace the drying tank and drain the water. Here, we check an air filter. Open the air filter housing clips. View cartridge. Check whether the inner and outer guts in. Watch cartridge housing with or without visible foreign body. If not, we will install the cartridge. When installing, first fill the liner. When loading, apply a little grease to the front of the cartridge. After fitting the liner, we will reload the bad. Put the housing on after installation. Be sure to align the markings with a notch in the top of the cartridge when fitting. Align and snap the clips into place. Next, we check the vehicle. Whether the function of all combination switches inside the interior is complete. First, we open the key door. Multifunction steering wheel. And the instrument function options. Inspection completed.